I'm now with Harry Fraser. Good morning, Harry, and welcome to Race Retro 2025.
Good morning.
Now, can we just have a brief talk about this car of yours, please? A little bit of a history on it.
Absolutely. So the original car that this is based on was built in 1922 by Alfred Keane, who worked for Morris Motors. He was taken on as William Morris's first apprentice in 1902, and then eventually retired from the company as one of the directors in 1953. Now, with Morris's permission, he took standard Cowley bits, so all the running gear, the chassis, and everything was taken off the production lines, and he took eventually was put together as a sports Cowley in its first iteration. Then, after competing in it relatively successfully for a year, he tuned the engine, and then he converted the body to become a single-seater racer, which is what this was modelled on. He was pretty successful through 23, 24, and then in 1925 he did something like one or two hill climb events, and then the car just disappeared and no one knows what happened to it. We suspect it was taken to pieces and put back on the production line, as things were in those days.
So how long have you had it?
So we've had this for about 2 years. We bought it, a friend of mine and I bought it 2 years ago, and then about a year ago he came to me and said I need to put my money into something else, so I bought it off him lock stock. And then so far I've not had the most amount of use out of it. We've had a bit of road use and I've done a couple of events in it, but I'm hoping this year to do a lot more.
Who did you do those events with?
The Vintage Sports Car Club. Yeah. So last year was Wiscombe, and then also I'm looking at entering Aston Clinton Hill Climb, which is just a display, but is a bit of fun nonetheless.
So what class does it come under?
In the Vintage Sports Car Clubs, it comes in the 1500 to 2 litre racing car class. So you get slightly penalised, but of course it is a racing car.
So can you give me a little bit the characteristics of the car?
The chap it was built by a chap called Stuart Cook, who actually is a very talented engineer, specialising in Cowleys, Oxfords. When he built the car, his main goal was to follow the information that Alfred Keane published in the Morris Motors magazine, and to create a car that was handled exceptionally well and was incredibly quick. So rather than the standard Cowley engine that Alfred Keane used, he put a slightly larger Morris Oxford engine in, so it's 1800cc rather than 1500. Lightened the flywheel, lightened the rods, raised the compression. It's got a standard crank and a standard camshaft in it. They sunk the engine about 3 inches, so it sits a lot lower than the standard car does, which actually makes it handle and sit incredibly well.
The centre of gravity is lower then? Absolutely.
Centre of gravity is very low. The balance on the car is phenomenal. You can feel it doing everything, and you can control it as well, so it's a very, very well put together car.
So what plans have you got for it this coming season?
I'm entering certainly Wiscombe Hill Climb. I plan to do 3 or 4 hill climbs, a couple of speed events, and I'm investigating at the moment how to turn it into more of a race car to sort of increase the legs on it, because at the moment it tops out at about 75 miles an hour, which on speed events is fine, but on racing circuits you need the legs rather than the out-and-out acceleration.
Oh well, I hope it goes well for you. I hope you have a good season and you get that extra top speed, and thank you very much for the interview.
Many thanks.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Thanks.